This is Andi Purewal for ID Boxing. We are here in Las Vegas and I'm joined by Bill Haney. Bill, firstly, how are you?
Hey, thank you guys for having me.
Appreciate you giving up some time to us today. Bill, take me back to your very brief and limited Australian venture when you saw your son become undisputed champion. Obviously, nobody anticipated seeing you being able to get out there in the very last minute. You was granted permission to travel. What did it mean for you to get that and to be able to be in your corner to guide your son to the undisputed title?
Well, alhamdulillah, that I was able to be there for 30 hours in Australia. I'm very thankful and grateful for the time to get in there and actually witness Devin put on the execution that we've been planning for so many years. Now I look forward to actually going and participating for the 21, 22 days that we'll be in Australia, and inshallah, Devin being prepared as possible.
Devin was asked about that earlier in terms of you being able to travel over. Are you confident you won't have any issues this time around and you can actually spend a full period of time with your son in Australia ahead of a rematch?
Well, no, thank you to both top ranks attorneys, my attorney, the Victorian government, DeBella Entertainment, who've all been very diligent and instrumental in getting me over there, having the confidence and, you know what I mean, and me that, this is something that me and Devin have been working a lifetime for, you know what I mean, and for giving me the opportunity, you know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful and blessed.
Just because we haven't had a chance to catch up looking back on that fight, just reflect on the performance for me and the fight itself. Were you surprised that it seemed to be as comfortable as what it was on the night for Devin?
Well, I mean, what you have in Devin, you had a Bugatti show up and George was moving like a Pinto. You know what I mean? I expect George now to come in and to be George. You know what I mean? He was kind of stuck. You know what I mean? So we're preparing for a more confident George, a George that's going to come in winging and going for it. You know what I mean? Swinging for the fences, you know what I mean? And making the fight as awkward as possible. And Devin making all the adjustments.
You said making all of the adjustments. Devin never really had to make adjustments in the first fight. He kind of able to stick to his initial game plan. What more are you hoping to see from your son? If George takes a more of an aggressive approach, what does Devin need to do to counteract that?
Well, I mean, if he's more aggressive, then he might go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing about it. You know, just depends on what George will do. Devin will make the adjustment. And you know, everyone says pillow hands, but if they're pillow hands, then come on. You know what I mean? You know, show us that he got pillow hands.
People will look at obviously how comfortable the first fight was and kind of assume the only way that Devin can better it is if he was to stop George Kambosos. Is it something you would like to see from your son, maybe a bit more of an aggressive nature himself in the rematch?
Well, no fight is ever comfortable, because if you get comfortable in there, you might go to sleep. You know, George, I give George a lot of credit for not just raising his hand one time and accepting Devin's challenge, but also coming back to challenge Devin in his hometown. You know, with a fighter with that kind of mentality, you always must give them their props. What we say in the hood, we give them all his grams, right? And we give George that, we give Jim that, we give them what they bring to the table. And like I said, you go into it thinking that the fight is going to just be what it was, and you end up seeing something that you never expected, right? So we go into it knowing that he's going to bring something that we're not expecting and then make the adjustment to it.
The rematch being in Australia once again, Bill, did you guys ever try to renegotiate that to get it back over in America, or was it something you guys just knew it was always going to be the case, it had to take place there?
Well, George has always been firm and you know, pretty reluctant to do the fight in any other place other than his hometown. You know what I mean? So I think that he believed that was his advantage the first time, was having the crowd. And I believe that he thinks that somehow the second time around the crowd will be an advantage. I also believe that, you know, he has, you know, being at home and not traveling that long of a way has its advantages. But come fight night with Devin and George inside the ring, Devin will be prepared.
You've seen Bob Arum and Devin himself talk about a potential Haney-Lomachenko fight for yourself, Bill. Is he the name at the top of your list beyond George Kambosos on October 15th?
Well, I like Lomachenko. I've always liked Lomachenko, but at this moment, I got George Kambosos at 135, and also I got a fighter that's been cutting weight for a long time to make 135. So I reserve the right and to, after this fight, let you know what we're looking like.
Is 140 in the near future a real possibility? Because it's something I've just asked Devin, and I don't think it's a secret that many people expect to see him move up at some point in the near future.
Well, absolutely. Devin has always said it's a challenge. You know what I mean? It isn't the most easy thing for him to do. You know, we're 100% focused. He's doing everything that he can. The fight just happened 4 months ago. So for all intent purposes, you know what I mean? That's something that we look to do, is fight Haney-Lomachenko after this fight. You know what I mean?
What would you make of a bout with Haney-Lomachenko and the skills that he has? What will it bring out of Devin?
The better the fighter, the better the Devin is. You know what I mean? Taking nothing away from Haney-Lomachenko and what he brings to the table. It would be nothing more than an electrifying and exciting fight that Devin would come out victorious, I believe. And, you know, it's something to look forward to. But right now, I don't look at a fighter like Lomachenko with going past George Kambosos. That's a fighter, Lomachenko, that deserves to be looked at, you know what I mean, when you have handled your business with George, not looked at George after, you know what I mean, in reverse.
I understand what you're saying there, but just one other name I want to throw at you is Gervonta Davis. I know Devin's had a few interactions there over social media. Do you think down the line it could be possible, or as Devin said, he feels that Gervonta just won't fight any of the other leading names in the division?
Well, just like I say, Gervonta is the same kind of name that Lomachenko is, you know what I mean? And after George Kambosos, we could take a look at it. But right now, we have George Kambosos October 16th at Rod Laver Arena, and that's the guy that we're looking at, and we're not overlooking him by any stretch.
No, you don't overlook it, but I'm just going to ask one more on it all. We've just spoke about the weight front, if Devin moves up or not. At 140, who do you feel would be Devin's toughest challenge when you consider the fighters in that division?
I don't see any tough challenges in there. I mean, well, let me say it right? I believe that Devin has the skills, he has the talent, he has the body structure to go up to 140 and dominate just like he's doing at 135.
Away from that, just get your thoughts on one fight taking place this weekend. Canelo-Golovkin, Bill, the trilogy, everybody will assume will be the end of the Canelo-Golovkin rivalry, but how do you anticipate seeing that fight go?
Yeah, I'm going with Canelo, but you cannot take away the fact that a guy like GGG is coming in with, you know what I mean, pretty much a complete underdog. No one is thinking that he's going to win, right? And if he wants to really go out like a fighter that has been fighting all his life, then this is the time to prove everybody wrong. So you can't just 100% count Triple G out. But, I mean, I believe that Canelo is too young, too strong, and too explosive at this stage of his career for GGG.
Bill, I appreciate your time. Enjoy obviously the rest of this workout. Thank you for speaking to me in ID Boxing.
Thank you, brother.